Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be arriving via the ATC assigned star. As to the approach, we can expect the ILS. And the decision altitude for this approach is 260 feet. For the landing config, we'll use flaps 30. The landing runway condition is right. Auto brake, we'll use level 2. After landing, please turn on the APU. This airport uses ground radar, so leave the transponder on after landing. And it looks like we'll be arriving at the gate today. The taxi route in will be as assigned by ATC. As for concerns, both weather and terrain are factors for this arrival. Any questions?
No questions.
Approach briefing complete.
Yeah, so that's what it says in the brief. If you play the tape, it kind of just reviews the various factors there. There's nothing fancy, but that's why I usually kind of spare you the torture there, because it doesn't really bring any value. But yeah, we can make a PA as well. Approaching top of descent.
Ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We're approaching our destination, and we should be starting our descent momentarily now. At this time, the flight attendants are going to be coming around the cabin to start preparing for arrival. If there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. Thank you.
That's that. A little PA there. So it's nice enough, I guess. So yeah, that's FS2 crew. Descent checklist.
Stand by.
Alright, so it's preparing a few things in the background. And it's going to give the checklist.
Descent
now.
checklist. Recall. Checked. Notes.
Checked.
Auto brake level 2. Landing data.
VRF is 142, minimums 260 feet.
VREF 142. Minimums 260 feet. Approach briefing.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
And we get FMC message, reset MCP altitude, so that's what we're gonna do. I'll set it all the way down actually to 2,000 feet, which is the platform altitude for the ILS. And we'll keep it in VNAV, so it's just gonna work itself all the way down. I'm gonna actually just set 12,000 or below and kind of get rid of the speed limit. So we kind of keep the altitude restriction. I guess those restrictions are in place for air traffic control, separation and airspace, you know, limitations and things like that. So usually when there's a restriction like this, there's somehow there's a constraint with the airspace or something like that. So to kind of keep the realism, I guess we'll keep that one in, but then we'll assume because we are on our own, there's no traffic, then we're gonna get a shortcut. So I kind of plan for the shortcut there and not fly the whole arrival. There's no point. It's one of those trombone arrivals, and there's no point flying the whole trombone when I can give myself a direct. So. And that's what ATC would do in any place, you know, with such a long arrival. If there was no traffic, you can 99% of the time expect a shortcut. So that's what we do. Happy days. Let's see how the crosswind is going to work out at the arrival. Idle.
Check.
So any change in the flight mode enunciation there? I went from what was it? Speed, I think, to idle, or then your call out. Basically, any change in the FMA here. So we look outside the coastline here with the mountains. Obviously, as I pointed out on the flight, on the first one going to Muscat the other day, the ORBX scenery is a bit of a mismatch there. transition level altimeters reset 1018.
1018. Set.
Approach checklist.
Approach checklist. Altimeters.
1018 set.
1018. Approach checklist complete.
And at 10,000 feet they're all set again. I'm not really sure here what FS2 crew does. I can't really remember too well, to tell the truth. But I believe at least the runway turnoff should come on. We'll see. We'll find out. Normally all the lights should come on at 10,000 feet, but depends on FS2 crew here, I guess. "26 minutes flying time, already at 10,000 feet in the descent. Amazing." Right, so we'll keep 240 knots now until I then decelerate for the final approach there, which is good. We complied with 12,000 feet or below, no problem. The VNAV path has taken care of it.
10,000 feet.
So let's see what it does.
Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
So it seems to be the left and the right landing lights and the runway turnoff as well. And then maybe once he thinks we're clear for landing or something, then it will add up the nose and maybe the taxi light, or the taxi light would just come in once we are on the ground. So ever so slightly different from what I normally do. Just readjusting the track bug there to go along the magenta line. That's also like a good practice, a good thing to do, because if at any stage you get like a radar vector, then at least the bug is you would have to change, of course, the reference to heading instead of track as is at the moment. As you can see here, you'd have to press the heading track button up here to change the reference to heading. But then if the heading is already pretty much where I should be, if you get like a radar vector, then you press heading select there, and then you can turn as directed, you know, 270, 265, come back. Yeah, so it makes it easier if the bug is in the right place already. If the bug is in the wrong place, then you're gonna have to kind of, you know, it's more manipulation of the actual knob. So yeah, it makes life easier. So because I'm flying in LNAV and I'm flying the track, then I'll change the reference back to track there. And I'll actually leave it like this all the way, because we are navigating to ULDOT, so self-positioning there. And then we're gonna pick up the ILS, so there's not gonna be any headings involved. So because we've got 185 knots restriction at ULDOT there, we've got a green dot here. I believe when the aircraft is going to reach the green dot, then it's going to start decelerating to meet the 185 knots restriction by ULDOT. So we'll see how that works out. And as I said, you can see the ULDOT 185 knots and 2,000 feet or above. So yeah, when it reaches the green dot, the speed should be commanded at least back down to up, to then prompt this deceleration. You see, that's exactly what happened. And then we'll call for the flaps. Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1.
Flaps 5.
Speed check flaps 5.
And then now it's commanding 185 knots as per the restrictions, so it's working quite well actually. It's the automation there is working textbook. Right, so we've got the ILS identification, India Delta Bravo Whiskey, so we can arm the approach mode. And hopefully the VNAV is gonna help with a continuous descent approach. It's looking good at the moment. It's reducing the rate, and we're just about to intercept now the localizer and then the glide slope. Localizer is captured. Localizer capture.
Check.
Now actually get rid of the VNAV, now use vertical speed. Vertical speed.
Check.
And you can see when the localizer is captured, then the track is automatically adjusted to the runway track by the system, by the automation, which is quite nice. Something that's not really the case on the 737, for example. You would have to, as soon as the localizer is captured, you'd have to readjust the heading to the runway track. Glide slope capture.
Check.
The missed approach is 3,000 feet. Flaps 15.
1,000 feet to level off. Speed check flaps 15.
So a little glitch there from FS to crew. Once the glide slope is captured, then there's no need to call 1,000 feet to level off, because it doesn't apply anymore. So that's a little thing that doesn't do properly. The speed is actually building up a little bit, which is not great. So gear down. Gear down.
Gear down.
I'll arm the speed brake. I've got a shortcut on the keyboard.
2,500.
Flaps 20.
Speed check flaps 20. Cabin crew, take your seats.
Flaps 25.
Speed check flaps 25.
Flaps 30.
Speed check flaps 30.
Landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete.
Checklist is complete. Here we are. All set up nicely. The speed is coming back nicely. We got a bit of a crosswind from the right with the joystick only. It's gonna be interesting. So we've got land 3 rollout flare armed, which is good. And here comes the motion. Here we are, flight director.
Approach stable.
Check.
1,000.
It's a little bit of shear.
Checked.
Approaching 30 left.
The frame doesn't help like always.
Approaching minimums.
Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Minimums.
Continue. Landing.
Checked.
100. 50. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes up. Reversers normal. $60 knots.
Manual braking.
Check.
Here we are. Yeah, quite a lot of shear on the approach. The frames obviously, like always, don't help, but a bit of shear, so the speed was a little bit going up and down. Not too bad. Kilo 10. We'll take the next exit. There's nobody behind us, so that's alright. The weather radar can come off. A speed brake. Retracted. Okay to clean up.
Check.
Until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Thanks.